I'm not going to say that this dream I just had pissed me off. I wasn't pissed off, but in this dream, not even in this dream really, I'm disappointed and it's a righteous anger. It's a righteous anger. The time is 1:51 a.m. and I just got told by God that I can, in fact, come on and talk about this dream. And I suspected some stuff and I fell asleep praying. And then when I woke up from this dream, I was like, oh, that's why I fell asleep. And this dream was so potent, it was so strong. I know it's God. And we're going to talk about it because I don't know. We're going to talk about it. Okay. So, okay. Let's talk about this dream. All right. In this dream, I start off talking to a I start off talking to like a family member, okay? Or somebody who felt like a family member. I don't think this is necessarily maybe family, but they felt like a family member in the dream. So this represented some, I don't want to go into the interpretation, but it felt like somebody that I felt comfortable with enough to tell what happened to me. So in this dream, I'm, I am, I am, so this dream is just, it didn't piss me off, but I am a little upset because God is showing me what's going on. And I figured this is what was going on, but this was my confirmation that what I discerned, what was going on, is I discerned correctly. And it's kind of frustrating because I might have to either go after this person legally or I might have to expose this person publicly. That's what it's looking like cuz this dream I just had, it just really pissed me off. And bear with me cuz God is actually confirming what happened. And I'm not like angry like revengeful with this person, but I definitely this what this person did was not okay. It's not okay. And if I have to publicly go after this person or if I have to legally go after this person, I will do it. I'm not scared to do it. And we'll just have to go from there. Um, but we gonna see. I need to pray and spend some time with God on my next steps with this situation. Okay. So I didn't go into the dream yet, y'all. I didn't go into the dream yet, y'all. Um, so just hang tight. Okay. So in this dream, I'm talking to the family member or whatever, and we were talking, and the Lord tells me to put on a particular worship song. Okay, God often tells me to do this. Like sometimes God tells me to put on a particular a particular song, or tell me to read a certain scripture, or God does that. God will tell you to listen to a song, or there's times where he'll tell me to watch a movie, or he'll tell me like to go read something in the word to comfort me, to instruct me, to give me confirmation, to rebuke me, whatever you know the Lord can use many avenues to talk to his children. So in this particular dream, the Lord told me to listen to this particular worship song, and it was one of my favorite worship songs. But when I got on but when I got on the platform to listen to the song, um, I was I was blocked. I was blocked by this worship team. I was blocked by this worship team, and this worship team had a location, and the location was San Francisco, California. And this particular dream, so I might have to get a lawyer after this. I don't know. We're gonna see what the Lord tell me to do. Or God gonna take care of it himself. I don't know. Um and when I seen this, I became enraged. I was like, are you kidding me? I needed to hear this worship song. I couldn't do what the Lord had basically told me to do. It was in a way of an instruction God told me to do. And I was like, I know I didn't do anything. And then I remembered who was around this person last. And I said, oh, this person must have slandered me to this people. And I'm thinking this in a dream, like this person must have slandered me. So then I go to this church, and I go confront this person in front of the entire church. So I confront this person in front of the entire church. Okay. I This person's getting ready to perform. And like a righteous anger rose up in me and in front of the entire church. I mean, this church was crowded. And I started yelling at this person. And I said, you know what you did. You're wrong. You've been gossiping about me, trying to block me. Now I'm blocked by this particular group, and all I want to do is listen to the song. I have a baby to feed, and you sabotaged me, da la blah blah blah, in front of him and his entire. He was with a group now, in front of the entire group, and then he starts arguing. Instead of him arguing with me, he starts arguing with the person the person who he was performing with. And this is being real life because I will say something. I don't care how many people, like, it depends on the situation. But this type of situation, this person has been doing this maybe for years or for a little minute now. And this person is now yelling and arguing with this other person in front of everybody. This other person is mad now. It's two different worship leaders, and they are mad. They are upset because I says I don't know. Now the other one that he yelled at, I don't know if he was mad at the guy. I want to try not to say this person's name because I need to sit with God and ask what my next steps are going to be. This particular person, um, and then they were arguing. Now the person that wasn't the one who I believe sabotaged me was upset. He was angry. He walked off into the corner angry. Now the person who I believe sabotaged me or did some stuff, I already kind of knew this in my spirit, but God just confirmed it with this dream. And this particular person, he came up to me, he seen me holding the baby, and I'm just gonna say what the Lord showed me. He looked at me in a sexual manner, like he was attracted to me. Okay. Now in this dream, this person is married. Okay. I know this person is married. And that's what God was showing me. This person was married. And then this person said, he looked at me in a sex like in like he was attracted to me manner, right? And he said, "Oh my God," he said, "Come with me. Let's go talk." And I have my baby in my hand. And I said, I'm not going, and this is me, and this is something I would do in real life because I don't play like that about people's marriages. I don't play like that about people's relationships. I do not play like that. When it comes to boundaries, baby, we got them. I don't even play with people like that. I said, I'm not going nowhere with you until we get another person in the room. I'm not going with you by myself. You're married. No, we need to find somebody who can come in this room, and that's order. I try to the best of my ability. I'm not perfect in any way, shape, or form, but I try to operate in order because that's how God operates. It is not okay. I don't care. I'm sorry, this is just how I feel as a person. It's not okay for you to be alone with anybody's husband. I mean, like by yourself, like and the door not be opened or there not be somebody else present. Not saying that you would set somebody up or that I would do that. No, no, no. For me, it's more so of get somebody else in this room because I seen the way you looked at me. And I don't want no speculation about us doing anything. You're married. No. So this man looked at me like he was attracted to me. And he said, "Come with me. Like, come on, let's go talk." And I'm just like, "I'm not going nowhere with you until you get somebody else in this room." This is what I said in the dream. So I rebuked him and said, "I'm not going nowhere with you." And I said, "Somebody else in this church need to come in this room with us before we have this conversation. Because I'm not going nowhere with this man by myself." And when he realized that I wasn't going to go with him by myself, then there were some arrangements that was made for me and him to talk behind the church. Okay, now we're no longer in front of the church. I'm no longer in front of everybody calling him out. I am now in a room with him and what seems to be a lawyer and one of my family members and him. So it's four people in this room. Okay. It is a lawyer or some type of authority figure. There is this family member. And then there is the guy. I'm trying not to mess up and say his name. I don't call people out unless the Lord leads me to do that, but if I have to do it, I will. Um, if that's what God is telling me that what needs to happen, that's what I'm gonna do. Um, and I'm in this room with this person that seems to be a lawyer, and I'm hopeful I know I'm gonna get some type of restitution. So basically, I'm getting some type of restitution. I can feel this in like in my dream. I can sometimes in your dreams you gotta pay attention to how you feel in the dream because how you feel in the dream sometimes God is giving you context clues of what's going on. So in this room, I knew I had the victory. I felt more at peace because me and him can finally talk about what happened. And I knew in the dream that I was gonna get some type of restitution. I knew in this dream I was gonna get um basically restored. So after I called this person out publicly, and I think all I want to do is just listen to a worship song. And this person did that to block me, to get me blocked, or I don't know what they told these people. And I was upset because the Lord had gave me instructions. Now I'm going to continue back where I left off. So we're in this room, and now well, sorry, I messed up. I missed a part. So I'm walking with this particular person, and this person is like a security guard or a brother or somebody I trust enough to protect me. Now, I'm walking in this hallway and this particular person starts bumping into me like you're not going by yourself, like basically letting me know I got you. Like, and this person was a boxer. Like I knew this person in the dream, they boxed because they had on boxing gloves. And they were walking with me like we're not gonna let you, basically he let me know like you know how brothers sometimes play with you and they like nudge you, they just but they're letting you know that this in a masculine way, they're letting you know like they may not say, "Oh, I got you," but they're saying like I got my boxing gloves on, I'm here with you, I'm not gonna let nobody do nothing to you basically. And I felt safe with this person. I felt safe. And this particular person basically was like, like playfully, I'm just like, okay, I know you right there. I feel safe. Thank you for being there. Thank you for being present. And I was like, okay. Then that's when I go in the room. Then that's when I go in the room, and it's this lawyer it's this other family member, and there's the guy who sabotaged me, and then I'm in the room, and then we're sitting down, and we're finna get ready to talk about what happened and everything. And at the same time, in a dream, I'm doing my nails. I have like all my nail kit stuff in front of me, and I'm doing like beauty stuff in front of him, right? And it's not because I'm trying to do anything to get attention or nothing like that or be weird, but like I'm just doing stuff because that's what I wanted to do. And then he asked me, "Hey, can I buy this nail kit? Can I buy all this stuff up off you?" Because he wanted to give it to his wife. He wanted to give what I had with my beauty stuff to his wife. Okay, I'm gonna break this interpretation down. God is giving me the interpretation as I'm speaking. He wanted to get his stuff to his wife, and I told him no, this is mine. And I told him, I said, but you can buy your own. You can go buy your own. And I started telling him, okay, I got this from Amazon. I got this from, you know, you can order online. I think I paid like $10 for it. And I started telling him where to get it from. And then he was like, okay, cool. And he was cool about it or whatever. And in the dream, we didn't necessarily go into the depth of what was going to happen. But in the dream, I knew that I was about to win my case and that I was going to get restitution for what happened. Then at like 151, I woke up in the dream. Now let's go into some of the details of the dream and give the interpretation. I ain't gonna lie. I felt in the dream I was holding a baby. Um, in real life, this has happened to me. Um, and this has been happening to me for years where I've had people lie on me and try to sabotage me, sabotage relationships, trying to block me, etc. Now, for the most part, I have told my testimony, but I have never really um when it came to like going after these people or giving out names publicly. I think I did it once before, like over social media, but I wound up deleting it. Because when I do something, I want to do it with intention and I want to be led by the Lord to do it. And in this dream, I called this person out in the church. So I'm trying to, okay, so, excuse me. So in this dream, I receive an instruction from God. God tells me to listen to this song. Okay. Meaning that the Lord has given you some type of instruction. The Lord has given you some type of ministry, whatever that He wants you to do. This particular person is blocking you or they have set you up. They've done something to block you or to try to take an opportunity from you or to try to do something to sabotage you. Okay. Now, in front of the entire church, I went to a concert and I called this person out in front at the church that he was at. I called him out in front of everybody. I said, "You know you wrong. You know what you did." And he tried to play stupid like he didn't know what he did in the dream. I meant to say that. He tried to play dumb like he didn't know what he did. And I'm like, "You know what you did. You wrong and it's messed up and I got a baby to feed." Now, this person might have gotten a way of like, resources or maybe something that God wanted to get to you through, whatever instruction he gave you. So now what he did has affected the instruction that the Lord had gave to me. Okay, I'm giving the interpretation as I'm talking out. So basically this person has interfered with an instruction that God has given you. Okay. And then you might have to speak out against this person. Okay. Whether this be in prayer, because sometimes God will lead you to publicly deal with a person. And whether this be um um social media or going to the place where this person is and calling them out publicly in front of the church, meaning I was in front of the church calling this person out in front of everybody. Okay. You may have to call this person out by name. Okay. You may have to expose this person because maybe this person has not repented. Maybe this person has not, is still doing the same thing. You may have to publicly call this person out in front of God's church. And the entire time when I was dreaming, when I woke up, the scripture that was coming to mind was, if you try to solve something with your brother and sister and they don't want to solve it, then go get another member of the church and do it, right? And if that person still doesn't leave, do it, then call this person out in front of the whole entire church. God basically gives guidelines on how to deal with um confrontation with other Christians in the Bible. So basically, I was reminded of that scripture where the Lord gives like a hierarchy on how to resolve an issue with another brother or sister in the faith. Now, I was reminded of this scripture. So what happened was, in real life, I did actually go to this person's see this person at a church in real life because there was some information that was, I guess, withheld, or honestly this situation could have been solved with a simple, hey sis, so and so is going on. And me personally, as a I would have, it would have never went the way it went. I would have been like, oh cool, bet, out the way, my bad, didn't know. It would have been one of them type of things. And I would have like, it would have never went farther than what it was supposed to go. You get what I'm saying? And then the situation made me look some type of way. And this person, now I know this person did that intentionally. Okay. Now, hence, some people in the church were mad when I said this. Some people were mad at him, and some people were mad at me. So there are gonna be people that have mixed emotions. Because whatever this person told them, a lot of times these people are hanging on to that, and there are gonna be some people that are gonna be mad at him because now they know the truth of what really happened. And hence, me and this person will never work in real life. Now the guy has shown me that they are attracted to me, and I would never do this anyway, especially if somebody's married. And with me being a woman of God, and if at the time, if I in the dream I was not married, but if in the dream, if in real life, if I was to be married, I'm not working with nobody that's me personally, that's a boundary because that's how you protect your marriage or just protect your reputation in general. Um, But let me keep going for it. So then people are mad at him, people are mad at me. So I mean, it's straight to the point. There might be some people that's gonna be upset. There's gonna be some people that's on the fence. They're not gonna know if they should be upset with him or they should be upset with me. But there are gonna be some people that may be upset if God is letting you do this publicly. Okay, after I called this person out, I didn't tell people the situation of what happened. I just told this person, you were wrong. You know what you did. I have a baby to feed, and you did this to me, knowing that I was innocent. You did this. And this person looks at me in a, I knew he was attracted to me by the way he looked at me. It was in a sexual manner. And then he tried to tell me, come with me. And I rebuked this person. And I said, because in the dream I knew that he was married, and I said, "I'm not going nowhere with you. Get another church member in this room with us, because I'm not going to be left alone with you." Because the thing is, I seen how this man looked at me. This man liked me. He saw like I was holding a baby. I don't know what that did from him. I don't know. But he was attracted to me, and I was like, "We're not doing this. Absolutely not. I don't play." And in real life, y'all, I am like this. I don't play like that. I don't play like that. When it comes to people's relationships, when it comes to people's marriages, I don't play like that. If a person is in a relationship, I'm not going to talk to you. Like, no, no. So, so after this happened, I start walking in the hallway. This person tells me to follow them. I don't go in the room with them immediately. I'm waiting for, somebody to be in that room, and then I walk out the church. Okay. Um, I don't see me and this person works in ministry. So, um, yeah, I probably not even probably that's for me working together is a no. It's a no. It's a big fat no. Um, yeah. So going forward, I'm in the hallway with this other person. He feels like either like he just feels like a protector. He's like nudging me. He not saying a word, but he looking at me and he nudging me saying, I got you, you covered type stuff. And he not saying no words, but he got boxing gloves on. And he let me know like I got you type stuff, right? Um in the hallway. And I knew that people were gonna back me up. There are people that's backing me up, right? And it was a boxer, right? So that represents security, you being like protected, that God got you. You can go into this thing and you don't have to fear that God got you. I walk into this room and I immediately get this feeling of victory. Like I know that I'm getting ready to be restored or restitution is coming. I'm in this dream and I'm in front of another lawyer. Okay. This person is a lawyer because she had like a book that was talking about lawyer and different stuff like that. Now, um, there is the guy that sabotaged me in the room, and then there's a family member. So there's somebody in the room that represents everybody. It's four of us in the room. There's his lawyer, and then or whoever's representing him. There's them. And then there's my family member that represents me because we needed witnesses in the room. Like I don't believe in being in a room with nobody handling conflict without a witness because anybody can lie and say anything, but it's hard for you to do that when it's like four other people in the room. So there was somebody for me in there, just to be emotional support for me. It was two lawyers in the room because I'm a lawyer in the supernatural. So there was me, his lawyer, and I feeling like a support person that was in the room or somebody who was like family for me in the room. I felt like this person in the dream was like family. And we were getting ready to discuss what happened and the next steps like restitution wise on how this is going to be handled. So you may have to in this dream, you may have to um I'm giving the interpretation now, y'all. You may have to sit down and have a talk with this person about repercussions and consequences for their actions. Okay. And it's not in a nothing weird like that. Like, but you might have to sit down with this person and his person's gonna give a confession or come clean about what happened. Because this person's getting ready to come clean. Now, let's go to the portion where I was doing like my beauty stuff and stuff like that, and he wanted to buy it from me and give it to his wife. So this represents, this person wants what you have and he wants to give it to his wife because there's some type of attraction for you. So if this is the case, you are going to have to set boundaries and set them early on. Remember the first time we said, "Come on, let's go talk by ourselves." Absolutely not. Get somebody else in this room. Get another church member, get somebody, another pastor, somebody in authority that can in this room with us. I'm not going nowhere with you by myself. You're gonna have to set boundaries with this person and let them know. And I told him, I said, not to jump around, y'all, but back to where I left off. He asked me he buy a beauty product, buy some beauty stuff for me to give, and I knew that he wanted to give it to his wife, and I said, no, this is mine. You cannot have what's mine. I said, why would you want to buy something that's already used anyway? Basically let him know, like, if you're gonna give her something, give her something brand new. Give her something that is hers. This is mine. This represents something so you have something that this person maybe wants, that he wants to give to his wife. And maybe this is also a root cause on why he did sabotage me. And I'm just like, this is mine. And I told him, I said, she needs to get her own, or basically, you need to buy it from scratch, meaning that this person is going to have to get get whatever you carry, whatever anointing you carry, whatever gift you carry, he's going to have to get it organically. What does that mean? You're going to have to buy it, meaning you're going to have to get into the presence of God. That person's going to have to get in the presence of God, and they're going to have to get the anointing from scratch. You can't just no. What I have, what I carry, I had to go into the presence of God to get. You don't get to skip that step. No, you're gonna have to go through the person to get what belongs to you. This belongs to me. So I told him no. So that's interpretation from that. So basically, they're gonna have to whatever God has for them, they're gonna have to go into the presence of God for themselves. They cannot have what God has for you. And I did rebuke him. I said, no, you need to buy it brand new. This is all you. This is my stuff. This is all my stuff that I use. You're not getting this. And I said, but you can buy it. And I told this person how to buy it. I said, hey, you can get this by, get on whatever this website, or you can go online. You can go online and buy this. And after I said that, the room kind of chilled out a little bit. Like it wasn't as high energy like it was in a church when I was yelling at him. And I felt like this righteous anger rise up in me, and I started yelling at him. That's what it felt like in that portion of the dream. And then I wake up and the dream ends. Now, this person, there's going to be some type of restitution that's coming. Whether this be supernaturally, God is going to handle it, or it be publicly, where you guys actually will be with actual physical lawyers. And you guys will begin to deal with whatever happened. Okay, whatever. Because the thing is, this person got in trouble, and this is another Christian that this happened with. This person got in trouble because they interfered with an instruction that God had given me. Now, that is illegal in the courts of heaven. When you get in the way of an instruction that God has given somebody, you can get in trouble in our kingdom. You can get in trouble. If you're unrepentant and you've done something, and sometimes even if you have repented, it does not mean there won't be consequences, or you won't have to or you won't have to pay for what you have done. That's not always true. What this person did was illegal. That's why a lawyer was present in the room. This person had their own lawyer, right? Or their own person that represented them, right? They were in the room. And I knew when I walked into this room, I was about to win my case, meaning that this person was wrong. And they know they were wrong. They know they were wrong. Because even went back to the portion in the church, when I called this person out, they did not yell at me. They walked away from me, and they started yelling at another person. Like, you know how like when something happened and then they start arguing with the other person that's in the room. There was another guy in the room, and I know who this person is, this guy, but I don't want to give out no names because these people, I'm not gonna give out no names until God leads me to do something. But yeah, but this person actually called this person out in the church, so yeah, but. Of course, every year, every prophetic word, make sure you pray for God for yourself. Every word that's given out is not your word. Every word that's given out is not my word. Sometimes God, you can attach yourself to a word by faith, but that's not always the case. There are certain blessings that are specific or for a specific people, and that's okay. There are certain blessings that are meant is meant strictly for that person. And that's okay too. Every prophetic word is not for everybody, but what you do is you get in where you fit in. Wherever the word made sense to you, take that back to the Lord. Pray and ask God, is this for me? And He'll tell you. He'll tell you. God had given me a word, and this was the confirmation for the word. Now in the dream, Like I said, it was a lawyer in the room, somebody representing him, somebody representing me, like somebody I felt close with in the dream, and we dealt with this, right? The way it was supposed to be dealt with in the first place, a sit down and talk. But a lot of times people are scared of confrontation. They're scared that you're gonna find out what they said, what they did. But the thing is, a lot of times for me, how I work is if you will come out and be honest and be genuinely repentant, most of the time I don't even care. I'm gonna be upset. Because in the dream, y'all, I already knew that this person was sabotaging me, but what set me off was when I got blackmailed because for something that he did. And then when I seen him again, I called him out on it publicly in front of everybody. And then we had a situation where we sat down and talked or whatever. And I was kind of standoffish to this person because clearly I know this person is attracted to me. And this, but towards the end, everything kind of mellowed out, right? We were able to sit down in the room and have this conversation. He was about to make a confession, and then I was gonna deal with that from there. So, with that being said, y'all, that's a dream. Of course, everywhere, like I said, take it back to God, and I'll talk to y'all later.